and welcome to not the 9th, but the 10th episode of Chewing the Fat. I can't believe, Wendy, it's already the 10th episode. That's crazy.
Crazy.
It's exciting though. Love having these conversations. This is like one of the my favorite personal things that we do here at Content Bacon, because I just love chewing the fat with you.
Likewise.
And right off the bat, I think our first thing is we want to do our 30-day takeaways to just open up the conversation and share with you what we have been reflecting on for the past 30 days. And Wendy, wanted to start with you, and I know you wanted to talk a little bit about outrageous customer service.
Yes. Yeah. So it's one of our core values. It's the O in bacon. And outrageous customer experience, outrageous customer service. I believe it starts with how you treat your team, right? It's, that saying, if you treat your team well, they treat your customers well. So I think it starts there, making sure that the team that you have that's interfacing with customers is set up for success. But I think one of the misnomers about outrageous customer experience might be the customer's always right. I think a lot of us like we've just heard that our whole lives, like the customer's always right. And when you're the customer, it's kind of nice to always be right. But in reality, that doesn't always lead to the best results. And I think in our business, challenging the customer not always being right, the customer maybe looking at something through a different lens that, when they are with us, we're able to shed light on something they may not be seeing. For instance, a lot of times customers want to create content that they like personally, or that's about them. And that's not always compelling content, right? That's not necessarily what your prospects want to talk about or want to hear about. And so sometimes customers have to get out of their own way to realize, okay, that may not be the best place to focus. So I think outrageous customer experience, it's really about everyone winning. And, what does winning look like? And often winning comes down to results. And whatever's going to get those results is going to be the best customer experience. And that may mean, some challenging conversations, or maybe having to change some ways of being in order to get what you want.
100% agree. And actually that parlays really well into my 30-day takeaway, which is multitasking will kill any good effort, right? Everyone's talking about how crazy they are and busy and and there's endless, my LinkedIn newsfeed is just filled with different focus areas on like where meditation and, mindfulness and taking a me day, okay, we're overwhelmed. I get it. But I'll tell you what, I would much rather not do one or two or three things, but do one thing really well at one at a time. And I have found time and time again that if I start just taking away, going at one thing, doing it really well, and then moving to the next, even if it's not at the pace that I want it to be, even if it's not, and even if I still know that there's a mountain of other things that I need to get done, if I take down the mountain at the same time, it's not going to work. But if I just chip away one at a time, boy, the results are going to be a lot better.
Yeah, and I find it more enjoyable too. I mean, I go down that, rabbit hole, squirrel, and it doesn't feel very satisfying. I might get things done, but the manner in which I'm getting them done doesn't always feel fulfilling. But when I really give my attention to the one thing, it's a better result and it just feels more fulfilling.
Absolutely. And one thing you said about your 30-day takeaway that I want to bring back really quickly, because I feel like you really hit the nail on the head, is that what exactly do your audiences want? And sometimes it's not what you think.
Yeah.
Your perception of what should be going out there versus what the people that need your stuff, there's sometimes they don't jive, and it's okay, but you really need to be open to accepting that that's the case. That could really be the case. So it's really good to challenge yourself. Sometimes it requires a little ego deflating to
Yes,
get there.
yes. All good things typically come from ego deflating. When we get the ego out of the way, or at least acknowledge when the ego is in the way, there's always good on the other side.
Wendy is going to lead the way here, talking a little bit about how there isn't a dashboard that talks about this very special real thing that she experienced while being at in-person events. And I'll lead it over to you, Wendy.
No, it's a great topic, a great takeaway, because often with social media, we're looking for that instantaneous feedback. You put up a post, you determine whether it's effective or not by the number of likes or engagement. And that might have been what was happening when social media first, launched, 10, 12 years ago. But most people scroll social media today. It's not as interactive as it was when it was new, right? People kind of they use it like a news feed. And so I was recently at a series of in-person events, and I got, hundreds of comments about, my social media, ContentBacon social media. And it was amazing, but I wouldn't have known this by necessarily the interaction. Some of these people have never interacted. They've never liked or commented on something, yet they're seeing it, they're reading it, they're getting value from it. And so when I shared this, with you and the rest of the team, one, it feels really good to get that feedback. But I think it's just so important, because the impact that your social media is having is greater than likes and comments. Certainly that's important and a measurement, but it's not the only measurement. And I really, that got reinforced for me at all the events, because like I said, just hundreds of people sharing with me different things about, my personal and our ContentBacon social media that they find so valuable.
I love it. And it kind of like, there's a reason why LinkedIn started showing you how many times a post has been viewed, right? Because they get it. Not everyone is engaging, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, people felt like, well, I'm not going to post anymore because people aren't reacting to me. Well, they are. They're just not doing it in a way that you can literally see it on that screen.
Yeah.
There are people that I follow and love that I don't share, I don't engage, I don't comment. I might take a screenshot now and then, but they don't see any of that, right? And I think it's really important. And what you experienced at this event sort of really encompasses what I believe is the value of social media.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, perfect. So let's move on to our breaking news or hot topic.
Yes.
All right. So what we wanted to talk about with you, if you know someone in your network that, let's say maybe they have an aged website, maybe they're kind of just getting started, or you just know that they have a great product or service, but they could really use a pick-me-up or a lift to get them to that next level, because you want them to win so bad. Well, ContentBacon has a service called Get Ready. And what this is a package of content. We have multiple tiers of how this works, etc. And I'll put it on the screen so it's nice and fancy looking while we're talking. But the idea is, we want to make sure that we can give you a bundle of content that's available to you. So when you are ready to launch your site or do the upgrade or whatever it may be, you have that content at the helm. And what we're asking you is, if you know someone, let us know, and maybe we can work something cool out here to make this worth your event, rather than just knowing that you're helping someone out. Maybe there's something else we can do too. Anything you wanted to touch on that, Wendy?
Yeah, I think, our most common offering, what we're really known for, is what we refer to as our done for you subscriptions. ContentBacon is a subscription-based content service. We sometimes, call it content as a service. And that's the bulk of what we offer. But what we found is that not all companies are ready for a subscription. And so we didn't want to not be able to offer those companies really great, compelling content when sometimes you just need a library of content to get ready, get started, look alive. And so these get ready offerings allow you to kind of create your own package to get ready so that you can launch, you can look alive, you can get a library of content and kind of one shot to get started while maybe other things are going on in your business and maybe before you're ready for subscription. So I'm really excited about this offering. We've gotten great feedback from it, and it allows you to work with us in a way that maybe, because you're not ready for a subscription, work with us in a way that works for you. So I think it's super exciting. And like Jason said, if you know someone, or maybe you have another business, take a look at it and maybe it works for you.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we are at the final steps. We are like 2 yards away from the finish line. The only thing that we have to do here is just do a little 30-second wrap up of our biggest takeaways from this conversation, and we can call it a day. Wendy, what is your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, I mean, I like your topic. I think the multitasking really not being a thing is always a good reminder. So, I think as I go into this week, I'm gonna take my attention up, a notch or two to really make sure everything I'm doing, I'm giving it 100%.
Love it. For me, my biggest takeaway is that I mentioned it as sort of a recap from your topic, but I really love the idea of making sure that what you're putting out there into the world is what the people that want to work with you want and need, right? Rather than saying, this is super smart, let's put this out there. Maybe it's not what people are looking for in the first place. So I love that. Wow, the 10th episode. Bam! It's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much. Glitter, 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 unicorns, 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 bacon, bacon, bacon.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.